Good day, my name is Damian Bothma. I'm the National Senior Legal Advisor at SEESA's Consumer and POPI Department.
Good day, my name is Melinda from Merwe and I'm also a Legal Advisor in the Consumer and POPI Department.
Today I'll be talking about the Protection of Personal Information Act and how it sets out conditions which regulates the use, disposal, sharing of personal information on both private and public organizations. It's important to understand that both private and public organizations should both actively demonstrate compliance with this principle-based legislation.
Damian, as you should know that this process can be very overwhelming and very uncertain for a lot of people. So today we will be having a discussion on how companies can take a practical approach to comply with POPI. Damian, can you maybe tell us what is the best way for a company to implement POPI to make sure that they are compliant with the Act?
Melinda, this being a new process on a lot of organizations, for me personally, it is important that organizations establishes a privacy culture within a company, meaning that the employees get the necessary training, the necessary awareness campaigns are being run so that it's an everyday lifestyle within a company. All employees take privacy into account when making use of information. Secondly, it's important that organizations make use of assessments to determine what information do they have in their possession, what processing activities are, what information is being used, what is the processing activities on that information, with who is it shared, as well as conducting audits to make sure that whatever has been put into place is working.
So Damian, as you mentioned, after the impact assessment, a company would be in the position to identify the gap, to see what process they need to put in place and what policies they need to draft. So these might include to maybe update their employment contracts, updating the supplier agreements, maybe changing the way they do marketing, putting in an opt-in or opt-out option, and drafting policies like CCTV camera policy, sharing of personal information policies, even drafting a policy for bringing your own device to work. Companies should also develop an internal ethical standard for the processing of personal information.
Indeed, Melinda, that's why it's very important for organizations to understand what their processing activities are, to make sure that they implement the reasonable measures to make sure the information isn't unlawfully accessed or destroyed or used.
Damian, one of the big questions that's also been brought to light is, should a company appoint an information officer in the workplace?
Yes, Melinda, all private and public bodies are obligated by the POPI Act to appoint the information officer within their company. This information officer has to register with the information regulator and has to take up their role roles responsibilities as stipulated in Section 55 and 56 of the Act. But on that is the part of the roles and responsibilities are to encourage compliance within a company, to work with the information regulator pursuant to an investigation, and overall ensuring that the company is complying with the Protection of Personal Information Act. The regulations also, which were published in 2018, sets out additional roles and responsibilities, and therefore when appointing information officers, it's important that they are well equipped to take up their role in terms of protecting the personal information.
So Damian, actually what you're saying is that if a company has not appointed the information officer yet, they should appoint one. And if they already appointed the information officer, they should reassess the role to make sure it's in line with the Act and the sections of the Act.
Yes, definitely. The guidelines on the appointment of the information officer and how that's going to take place was also open for public comment. So as soon as they are finalized, we'll be in a better position to understand how this information officer has to be appointed, what form should be filled in, etc. But Melinda, can you tell us more about what will happen to a company in terms of non-compliance with the POPI Act?
Damian, failure to comply with POPI may lead into fines up to 10 million rand or even imprisonment for 10 years. So companies that haven't started the process, we encourage to start as soon as possible to avoid any fines, any penalties, and any other consequences in the future.
Yes, exactly. As you've also stipulated, what I have to add on is that companies have been given a 1-year grace period from the 1st of July until the 1st of July 2021 in which they have to comply. And therefore, we encourage clients to make contact with us at our nearest SEESA office, or you can SMS the word SEESA, SEESA, to 45776 so that a professional legal advisor can make contact with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.